All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a series. Game three of the T20I between India and England. England stormed back with a win. It's 2-1. We had runs from Duckett. Brooks still struggling. We had a good last wicket partnership there between Adil Rashid, Mark Wood that I think changed the game for England. And then India come out, kind of fizzled with the bat, lots of starts, but not enough to bring home the victory. England make it 1-2 or 2-1, however you want to look at it. What were your immediate thoughts of the game?
Yeah, no, immediate thoughts of after the game were wow, now we have a series, and both of our predictions are still in play. I called it 4-1, you called it 3-2. So, very much a lot to play for from both sides. And as you mentioned, very exciting game, both from a bat and ball perspective. Seeing some old faces coming back, great to see Shami, storming in, bowling as well. And then also, as you mentioned, some great batting from England's side. So, England, I think, played deservedly better than India this match, and a lot to talk about.
Yeah, a lot to unpack in today's game for sure. So let's start right at the top. So India won the toss again, once again put England into bat first. And once again, England sort of started their way to 71 for 9. I don't know how they do it. They lose wickets consistently, but they're still able to put up some sort of a target, which they did in the last game as well, where they came so close to winning. And this game, they ended up actually winning the game. Some more substantial scores from the top order. We had Duckett with a nice 50. At one point, he looked like he was going to get there within 19-20 balls, but nevertheless, great innings. Another failure from Salt. Butler got a start. But I think the game changing partnership for me was definitely that last wicket partnership because England were 9 down for 140 something, and then Adil Rashid and Mark Wood put together a quick little 20 for the last three overs, and they got them over 170.
Yeah, no, and as you mentioned, what is that sort of differential that allows England to make a competitive total even when wickets are tumbling? And I'm a firm believer is it's that positive mindset. I think every batsman is given that openness to really go for it. Hit the balls that are in your area, and don't be afraid. And you've seen that throughout all the batters. And as you pointed out, the key difference maker, especially in a T20 game where you've potentially of something around the 150s versus the 170s, that 20 to 30 odds can make a difference. And to your point, the last batting partnership, really putting, I think, England just a little bit above par or a little bit more into the territory of allowing their bowlers to defend it. I think something along the lines of a 150-ish would have allowed India that confidence to really, positively attack the game. But getting that last partnership, I think, really allowed the England bowlers to really come into the game and really try to win it for their squad.
Yeah. I always felt in a T20 game, if you're able to get over 160, you're in with a shot. I feel like when you're under 160, one big over once the second innings begins and the game's kind of lost. But when you're above 160, you need at least two or three good overs or a consistent run rate in order to stay with the required rate. So as soon as they got to 170, I felt like they were in with a shot. I felt India may have taken it a bit um, too easy towards the end of the innings. Um, they should have been able to clean them up for under 160, maybe even 150 was possible. But to let them get to 170 from where they were, I think that's where India lost the game.
Yeah, and you've noticed this as well. This has been a recurring theme for the T20I squad. Using a lot of different bowlers. What were your thoughts on sort of the combination of bowlers used? I know we were talking about this a little offline as well. It looks like Sky is sort of utilizing some of the spinners earlier on than expected, and not really allowing them to maybe develop a spell, but using them as into as. And you also noticed, for example, Abhishek Sharma didn't finish his quota. He had a decent, over rate around 4 runs per over. And then Shami as well, wasn't able to finish his 4 overs. I think he just had, around 3 overs. So just overall, what were your thoughts on India's approach to their bowling?
Yeah, I think Sky's doing this thing where he's trying to upset the rhythm of the batsman. I feel like he's also approaching it from what he would not want if he was batting. And if you think about it, like when you're batting and you're facing a bowler, like in test matches, when you face a bowler over and over again for overs in a row, you sort of at some point get used to the length and line, or the line and length of the bowler and the pace. And in T20, that's not necessarily a good thing, because that allows you to then hit the big shots better, or figure out your scoring shots if you're able to play 2 overs or 3 overs of a bowler all at once. So I think he's trying to upset the rhythm by having different bowlers come into every over, where they have different actions, different length and lines, different ways that they turn the ball, spin the ball. And I think that's the approach that they're taking. And I feel they're also doing that because they do have the luxury of so many bowlers. I mean, you're also missing Nitish Kumar Reddy, who's in this team. So
Very
technically,
true.
like, India's team has at least Tilak Varma can bowl as well. They literally have 9 bowlers, except for, I mean, Sky could roll his arm over too, except for Sanju and Sky. The whole team can bowl, right?
Yeah, no, no, I
So
see what you mean.
so I think it's having that luxury. And why not? If you do, why not do it? Because you never know. Sometimes you try a bowler and they come off with 2 or 3 wickets where you not wouldn't have expected them. You're probably just trying to buy an over for a few runs, which is what he did with Abhishek today, where he bought it over. I don't understand why he did it, because he didn't need to. The bowlers were bowling well. But then again, I think it's just that luxury of having just, I have the ability to do it.
Hmm.
Why not?
Yeah, no, no, fair enough. And I think you mentioned as well, Varun Chakravarti, five for this match, incredible series. What are your thoughts on his performance, not only this match but throughout the series?
He's been super consistent this series. He's been super consistent for the past a few months. I think he came back into the team against Bangladesh, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yep,
ever
yep,
since then,
Bangladesh.
yeah, ever since then he's been the trump bowler. He's been India's X factor in the bowling, and he was rewarded again for his tricks. He definitely is bamboozling the England batsmen, like especially the lower order. They have absolutely no clue which way he's trying to spin the ball. Jofra Archer's reaction after he got bowled was the best reaction. But what's funny is we've seen that a few times this
Yeah,
series
yeah.
now, where they're just looking back like, what just happened?
Yeah, there always seems to be a gap between bad and pad, for just a reoccurring theme. But as you mentioned,
Or maybe some smog. Maybe some smog.
there's smog all over India, apparently, right? No, exactly. So on one end you have Varun Chakravarti, very difficult for some of the England batsmen to pick up, but on the other end you have some of the more orthodox bowlers. Ravi Bishnoi not having the best series so far. It looks a little bit out of form.
Yeah, I feel like he may lose his spot for the next game. I felt he would lose his spot for this game. I was surprised India still went in with spinners
Same.
on such a good batting wicket, but it turned out to work well for them. Yeah, he's been out of form. I feel like he's been the most predictable amongst the spinners, and so England are able to play him better. Ravi Bishnoi is classified a leg spinner. I believe he's a wrong gun bowler. You play the leg spinner, sorry, you play the wrong gun, because he's mostly spinning the ball into you if you're a right-handed batsman. And the leg spinner, that's his change-up ball, if you will. So, and generally, at least today, he seemed to be a little flat in his lengths and short in his lengths, and Livingston picked him apart in that over easily. He's lucky he didn't go for a few more. But yeah, he looks a little out of form right now, so it'll be interesting to see if he retains his spot. I highly doubt it, but let's see.
No, no, I'm in a similar boat as well. I think it's tough for anyone to really advocate for a spot, leaking for runs and just the odd wicket here and there. But I've always been a fan of him, so I definitely want to see him to come back. So hopefully that comes back. So yeah, England make around 171 runs, I think, a decent score, at least from the surface perspective. And then you have sort of the start coming in from Abhishek Sharma and Sanju Samson. What were your thoughts on the approach?
I think the approach is great. Like, go all guns blazing.
And it's been a
You
similar
have
approach, right? Like across
Yep.
all the games, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I think you can afford to do that with the batting power India has. Like, if you maybe said this 3 4 years ago, or 4 5 years ago, I would probably think twice. But now with the IPL and with the players that are coming through the ranks in T20, you have the ability. You have someone like a Jurel coming at number 8.
Yes,
Like, are you
100%.
kidding me? Like, you can most definitely go all out. So Abhishek Sharma, great innings. We were talking offline. I think if you get a 20 plus in the T20, like you've done something.
Hmm.
Sanju Samson, I don't know. I someone called the police because he's missing.
Yeah, this entire series, I think he's been really great behind the stumps, but
Yeah.
from a batting perspective, especially from the baseline that he's created, initially, with his, centuries coming in, power, beautiful strokes, it's difficult to see him play that now because it just seems like he's struggling.
Yeah, yeah, and it also could be the law of averages, right? He
Yes.
had a string of really good games, and eventually it catches up with you. It might happen to Tilak Varma too, who I think you mentioned got out for the first time in 5 innings, was it?
Yeah, I think it was like the last 3 or 4 innings. I think he had 330 something runs net out. So,
Wow.
so yeah, maybe it's just as you mentioned, just a law of averages. But you love to see Sanju Samson play well because when he plays well, it looks like cricket is being played well. Classic strokes and just elegant batting, and especially with Abhishek Sharma performing as well, that is the perfect scenario for Team India.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And they went with the same template. It didn't come off today. There was one innings that was interesting with the way it was played. Hardik Pandya. So he gave India hope, and you felt like as long as he was there, India had a chance. But I felt like maybe he left it too late. What did you think? Like, what did you think of his innings? Because he started off really slow. I think he was like 15 of 20 or something like that. He was under 100 of strike rate, and then he started taking off. But by the time he started taking off, India were like well behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, no, no, exactly that. I think he started off, a little looking being cautious of his pace, but then, as you mentioned, little pickup in momentum, and you got a little Dhoni-esque. Is this a Dhoni type of innings? Will
He
he
even
will he
played. He even played a helicopter shot.
Yeah, 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 exactly. But unfortunately, there's only one Tala, right? And to your point, I think he did leave it a little too late at the end. Perhaps if he was able to, but then again, he was not getting, I would say, the enough support he needed from the other end. But I would have liked him to sort of ramp it up, I would say, a little bit before. No, and I did think he left a little bit late at the end. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, a little too late, but you are also right that he didn't have much support. Like Washi didn't really have a good game today.
He was
One
struggling.
over 15 runs with the ball, and then 6 out of 15 balls with the bat. Not his best day out. Patel looked like he was going to start switching gears, and then he was unfortunately out. I think it was that point. He either side of point he would have got four. Oh, sure, he's short third man.
He
Either
just
side that
slashed
was
it, I think.
four. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just got unlucky there. And then Jurel, I feel for Jurel. I really hope that he gets something going soon because he needs to make some sort of score to retain his spot. Just because he's your backup batsman, and unfortunately, like when you're a backup, you only get so many options, or not options, but so many opportunities to play, and you have to make at least one of them count. He had a chance today. I felt he came too late though. Number 8 was way
It's a
too
tough
late.
position.
But
It's a tricky position to bat in.
yeah, yeah, it is. And there's only very few people in the world. I would say right now one of the best in the world at it is Tim David and Rinku Singh. I think they're
Yes.
the top two right now in being able to just come out and start swinging from ball one. Jarrell's not there yet. It is what it is, and so I think that lack of support from the other end didn't help Hardik either.
Yeah, no. So unfortunately, a little late. For the momentum, and as you mentioned, tail end. Just really couldn't break it across the line. I think the 170 was a little tough, especially with that middle to lower end, or lower order. But
Well,
then again, good chase,
well,
good try though. I think it was a great chase.
yeah, and again, it reinforces the importance of that last wicket partnership from Mark Wood and Adil Rashid. Like they literally won by the margin that of the partnership that they put up. If you look at it, they won by 26 runs. Yeah, a little more than that, but um, their partnership was 24 runs. So that
Yeah.
literally was the difference. Because if England were out for 150, India would have probably chased that down somehow, some way.
100%. I think even with the momentum going into it, it would have relaxed their minds a little bit more, right? So, I
Yeah.
think you had a great point there, and yeah, that exactly looks like that was a difference.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. So for T20I coming up, the nice thing is the series is wide open now. England have an opportunity to storm right back and make it 2-2. It's a Pune wicket. Pune generally again known for being a batting paradise. It'll be interesting to see how that game goes. Do you see any changes happening to the squads again?
See, of course, I think the first name on top of my mind is Bishnoi. You know, will India replace him? I'm not sure who the best option would be,
Arshdeep,
right?
bring back Arshdeep.
But do you really want to bring back Arshdeep on a Pune wicket? I'm not again
Yeah, yeah, because you need that bowling.
fair. I think that's a good point. Yeah, I think that's an I think that's an easy swap as well. But I think just from that end, I don't think Nitish Kumar Reddy's will be fit, right?
No,
So I think
I'm
from an
not playing
India
Ramandeep.
perspective,
I'm not playing
yeah,
Ramandeep.
no,
I'm
no,
not playing
no, no,
Shivam
no.
Dubey.
Yeah, no, no. I think yeah, you keep it as it is for the rest, and then you just replace Arshdeep with you replace Ravi Bishnoi with Arshdeep, and I think yeah, and you keep Shami. I think keep Shami and get his mat fitness level up. I think it's okay if he's not getting wickets, right? I think the priority for him is just to get fit. Obviously, India needs to win this series. Don't get me wrong, but I definitely want to see some of the other bowlers pick it up. I think Shami can you can cut a little bit of slack for players coming right back from injury.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like Arshdeep in for Bishnoi doesn't upset the balance too much because of the plethora of options India has, where they could play a Tilak Varma or Abhishek Sharma as a bowler for a couple overs
Fair,
here and there. And keep in mind, Washi only gave you 1 over 15. He's not going to bowl like that every game. He
that's
just had an
true.
off day, right? So he'll give you at least 3 overs, if not two. So I think you're fine there. It's not like Bishnoi's in form either, so I see that change happening. I think Jurel gets another go again. I know you mentioned that Gambhir would keep him, and looks like your call was right. And I think that was good on him because it would have shot his confidence a lot if they dropped him for this game. So I think if you're there as a backup batsman, play him the whole series, and then maybe after the series you decide whether he is the right guy as a backup or not.
Hmm.
Hopefully he does something in the next game. What about England's side? You see any changes there?
We'll start with you because obviously Overton's not doing too well, and I don't know. I think that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Do you see at least them replacing Overton? I think that's like the only name that comes to my mind.
Well, now after today's performance, I mean, with the bat, he's been a no-show, but he bowled well today. He
He
took
did get a
three
couple
wickets.
wickets. Yeah.
Yeah, he took 3 wickets, was the highest wicket taker. He bowled at 6 and over. Yeah, I think if he finds a way to tackle the spinners, he could be dangerous. Yeah, I don't see any changes. Maybe Bethel coming back if he's fit.
Hmm.
Maybe he comes in, but I don't know who he comes in for because the only person you're dropping is Jamie Smith. So maybe Bethel comes right back in for Jamie Smith. That's the only change I see.
Yeah, potentially. I think yeah. As far as the opening batters and the top order, no changes from there. At least in my eyes, and the middle order as well. Yeah, but I think potentially just Jamie Smith. Potentially.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Cool. Sock
interesting.
sweep for the fourth game.
Batting paradise, and I'm gonna what they call manifest it. I hope it's a big score for Sanju. I think it's high time, law of averages and everything. I think it's time for him to bring that average up. Sanju Samson, big score in Pune.
All right. I'm going to go with a Phil Salt. I'm going to go with a Salt 50. Law of averages again.
Okay, okay. So hey, both openers, different sides,
Yeah.
right?
They've been canceling each other out for the series. I think
That's true.
which if one of them scores, whoever scores between the two of them, that team is winning the game.
That would be the difference, and I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree because both are so dangerous, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Both, especially Phil Salt. Like he is super underrated as an opener. So yeah, let's see what happens.
No, no. I think it'll be a fun game. I think it's gonna be Friday for us, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, can't wait. It's gonna be a good weekend. Friday is gonna be the 4 T20I, and then Sunday is gonna be the fifth one, and hopefully it's 2-2, and then India takes the game on Sunday. So we'll see what
A
happens.
lot to play
Until
for.
then, that's Stumps. Don't forget to like and subscribe.